So I have a particular opinion on this. I think that Miami
Okay.
now is home to the greatest player, the greatest athlete in the world.
Ooh.
So now I think he's already the greatest athlete on American soil now, as soon as he gets here. And the reason I say this is because,
Okay.
now I'm going to make a pretty, this is going to be my argument.
Now I want you to understand what you're saying.
Oh, yeah, I know. This puts him above LeBron, Brady. This puts him above, I don't know who else we have in the GOAT conversations of our sports. But I think Messi is that, and here's why. There is no sport that has more players in it than football.
Okay.
Football has thousands of players all over the world in every country. The fact that there are thousands of teams in France alone shows you that there's just people all over the world play the sport. For him to be considered the greatest of all time in that sport means that he stands above like thousands of players. And in our sports, like they play basketball in other countries.
Okay.
But like basically we're comparing our athletes to each other.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. I just want to push back on this just a little bit. I'm not saying that Messi's not the greatest football player ever, right? I think that's – I would say that it's universally accepted, but there's some people who think that Ronaldo is better for whatever reason. I hope somebody gets mad at me for that. But anyway, this is what I have to say to that, okay? Yeah, there's thousands of people that play that, okay? Here's the deal, though. There's only so many players that can make it to the professional leagues of American football.
Yeah.
There's a roster cap for every team that's 53, and there are 32 teams. So at the end of the day, it is the best of the best that are playing in the American football category.
But you can say that about professional football too. Like there are thousands of teams, but not all those players get to play in the pro leagues. He's at the pinnacle of that sport.
There's multiple leagues of professional teams, though, right? Like there are players that I don't know, man. I don't know if I agree with you. That's all I'm saying.
I don't understand why a smaller league would be better for my argument against my argument.
Because a smaller league, like just because there's a ton of people in it doesn't mean anything. Like,
well, I'm saying there's a smaller pool of athletes to draw from.
Out of what? The
like
NFL?
there are fewer basketball players in the world than there are football players in the world. So there are going to be more opportunities for there to be better players.
No. There are fewer basketball players in the world that make it on TV.
I'd say there are fewer basketball players in general. Like
in general,
I think football is the most played sport across the board.
You might be right. That might be, you might be onto something. Maybe, man. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about your argument. I don't know that I necessarily agree with
I'm still working through it, but
yeah.
I
think you've got solid footing. The issue that I run into is I'm just like, well, just because there's more people there doesn't mean, because at the end of the day, you're still working off the top, 5% of those players are actually what you would consider top of their game. How many players are on a team?
But then that still goes to my argument though, is that you're right. There are still a small group at the top of professional football, but there are professional leagues in every country.
Okay.
And so of those, he's still considered to be the GOAT above all of those. And the amount of things that he's accomplished kind of go to prove that he's risen to the pinnacle of all of those professional leagues in every country.
That makes sense.
So that's just, I don't know. I think that he's easily the most beloved GOAT of all time.
Yeah, I got you.
Like we had the fact that when he came to Miami, they went from 1 million Instagram followers to 5 million as a team.
Like the minute he signed?
Same day.
No way.
Yeah. Enter Miami now has
both our phones are used as cameras right now.
And the crazy thing is now, think about this.
Okay.
Who is the most popular American football team professional?
Right now it's either Kansas City or the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll back it up. I would say like across the world, I think the Cowboys actually are the most.
They're considered America's team,
right? But I think they're also like the most lucrative of the clubs.
Right.
And so I think that anyway, the Cowboys have 4-point-something million Instagram followers. Inter Miami has more. And in fact, not only that, Inter Miami already has more more followers than any of the American football teams.
Dang.
Like, they're now the most popular sports franchise in America.
On social media.
Yeah, but not by Americans. That's the amount of attraction that's coming towards Major League Soccer
internationally,
from across the world.
So internationally, they are 100% the most popular team in
That
America.
boggled my mind when I
Just
stopped to
because
think.
Messi signed.
Like, Messi comes here, and all of a sudden, the international support already boosts Miami above any of our clubs.
Is this the greatest thing that's ever happened to?
Yeah, and I think so. There's two things that could happen here.
MLS, right? Major League Soccer.
Major League Soccer.
So is this the greatest thing that's ever happened to Major League Soccer?
I think easily it is. I mean, we've had Pele came here.
Oh, whoa!
And yeah, he played. I can't remember which team he played for. We've had other legends come here, like David Beckham came to play.
I know David Beckham did. I know we had what's his name too. That's like
Ibrahimovic.
Yeah, golly.
Yeah. So, yeah, we've had Zlatan here. We've had a lot of guys come over, but this is the first time that we've had a GOAT in his prime still.
So you think Messi's still in his prime?
Well, he's at the end of his prime.
Got you.
But he still is. He's going to be considered for the Ballon d'Or this year. Like, he still had an excellent year.
The Ballon d'Or is kind of like the MVP. Gotcha.
Right. It's gonna. I think right now people are either on his or Haaland's side, but like.
And if Haaland wins it, nobody's going to be mad. Nobody's mad about that. You know, that cat balled out.
It's obvious that Messi's on the downward trajectory of his career, but he's still, like, I would actually say it's similar to LeBron. He's on the downward trajectory of his career, but he's still one of the best that's currently playing still.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Well, what a great clip that was. If you enjoyed this video, you probably would enjoy the full-length podcast. So go ahead and check that out while you're here. And hey, why don't you subscribe and hit that bell?